All right, here at No Reserve, we have our beautiful all original 1994 F250. It's an XLT extended cab long bed, and it's a 4x4, so it's got the 8-foot bed, all power options, 460 automatic, just barely over 160,000 original miles. It's in this. It's like a dark royal blue metallic, but Ford calls it medium royal blue metallic. But it doesn't have a purple tinge to it or anything like some of the blues you see there. Some people call purple blue, but this is your kind of your classic dark navy blue. It's got the Oxford white two-tone in the middle. I mean, all original paint, no paint work, all original pinstriping, top and bottom. I mean, you can't get these anymore, so this is always a do-tell sign of original paint, because if there was an accident, a body shop would have to replicate this stripe, but this is all a one-piece stripe. And if it was, you'd have to make it a two-piece, like you'd have to get a dark blue stripe and then layer it with the silver over the top, and you'd feel the edge. But this is a super clean truck, runs and drives excellent. I just had the oil changed, had everything checked out on it. We bought it from a Ford store where it was traded in new for a new Ford. Brand new wheels and tires on it. We just put the wheels, and if you want the original wheels, those will come with it too, but you'll have to definitely let us know. So really nice original paint, especially for being a dark blue. This is pretty much about as dark blue as you can get, without, kind of looks like black at night or in the shade, but it's gonna show more stuff than like especially your golds, your silvers, your graphites, your whites. It's going to be kind of just not going to show as much as black, but it's going to be in the kind of the same category. And what you'll get is, you can see a couple areas that were touched up with not the right color blue, but for some reason this is the only area on the front of the hood that someone touched up, which is good because you could get a little lacquer thinner and get that off and touch it up with the right color. But you're going to have some little tiny peppering or stone chips. I mean, just really little guys. There's a chip that is a little larger. It's probably an 1.25 inches long and probably not quite a 1/2 inch wide. But and it's it's all flaked out. It doesn't have a chipping edge anymore. But you can tell it's always been garage because these are original headlights, and you can see they're crystal clear. Even some of the lowest mile trucks, if you don't keep them garaged and well cared for, these lights get a real yellow, kind of real dull look to them. All the corner lights have nice color, nice clarity, a little bit of condensation in the corner light here. All the chrome's nice and deep reflection, nice black moldings, no marks or nulls. It's not pulling back. Sometimes you'll see these pulling back, but they're all in good shape. Nice clear lights, a little bit of condensation on the clear one there. Really nice chrome on the grill. The bezels, you don't get any age spots. Water will come down here and put age spots on the chrome, which is really common. Okay, so this is pretty much the majority. I mean, doesn't have very much wear on this paint, but this is pretty much the extent of it. So I'm gonna get in here and get nicky and picky and show you all the little chips. And these are all really small guys. And this is just a beautiful truck. There's no paint lifting, no clear coat issues. Real common for the wind to bounce off and hits these flat areas, and this is a real common area for paint or clear coat to lift. I also took a picture. It's actually the original window with the Ford emblem in the middle. All original car light glass all the way around it. But you will have your stone chips. It doesn't have any mud flaps on it, so these flat areas, I mean, rocks just come up and hit this area, but they're just real small stone chips. And then they kind of fade out here. But you will get a little entry wear and chips. The rocker, you get a little wear. And for some reason, how Ford did these two-tone trucks is, which I don't understand, it is if the middle color, they painted the whole truck on that color first, and then they painted the rest of the body color. So if you do get chips, they kind of tend to stand out a little bit more. Like if you have a black truck with silver in the middle, all the chips come up silver, and if you have like a dark blue with a light blue in the middle, you have all these little light blue chips. But so you just have these little white guys, a couple of those. Take you around the door here. You got some door edge chips, but it has had the chrome protective trim on there, so you could take that off, and it's probably just mint condition. Little chips here. Both of the outer door sweeps are a little cracked and weathered. You got a little bit of chips here. But the rubbers around the fly windows are really nice and soft. The rubbers around the extra cab windows are nice condition. The rubber around the back windows in really nice shape. Hasn't shrunken or anything. These are the fold-in mirrors. You know, they were cheap new with cheap chrome, and they kind of just get surface rusty from moving it back and forth. It'll chip the rust, but the fortunate thing about it is they're still cheap today. You can buy a brand new set for 30 bucks off Amazon or eBay or LMC Truck. And the prices will vary from 30 to 50, whoever you shop with. So you got a couple little side loading scratches and chips there. Little thin squiggly, you can't get your finger in it, so you might be able to buff these out. But there's some scratches here on both top bed corners. Looks like they had minor contact with something here. Pushed the metal in a little bit, but didn't do really any paint damage. So you could probably get like a PDR, paintless dent removal guy. The tailgate's nice and straight, no bowing, shuts nice and easy. It's got your standard drop-in plastic bed liner, but you do have some scratches on the top. I believe this thing had a canopy on it most of its life, because it does have, well, it doesn't really have any canopy wear. I think there was just a little bit of wear in there from this thing moving throughout the years. The old man did have like a reflective decal here. He probably was paranoid and got rear-ended at one point, but we took that off, but it did leave a little bit of hazing over time. The aluminum's a little fresher, so over time it'll kind of fade out and blend in. Bottom of the tailgates, you do get a little bit of wear, you get a little scratch. Again, very minor stuff. This is stuff that you don't notice on this truck until you get really close. This truck's seen very minimal use. You can see it doesn't actually have a trailer package. But there's some chipping and stuff right here. Maybe backed in a couple little things, but it's not bent or no marl on the metal. And these from the factory, along with these little guys, have just really thin coat, cheap coat of paint. So they just flake, pretty early in life. A little more severe chipping and scratches on this corner. Taillight's got nice clarity. The backups are getting a little bit dark and dingy. Again, but this is what I love about these trucks is, you could go and get a brand new set of taillights for really cheap. A little bit of wear there, like maybe he had a piece of rope or something that was vibrating. A couple scratches, a couple squiggly scratches there. Scratch there, and kind of your typical little tiny stone chips that we talked about before. Scratch there. Looks like they got into something, rubbed up against something that probably created the same scratch on the back there, but I put a scratch in the paint here and then rubbed on the trim. But this is just on the trim. If you were to replace this, the metal underneath is fine. So, you got a little bit of entry wear, chips and stuff like that. Again, you got the same kind of stone chips on the bottom here. If I crank up the camera and get a little more light, it stands out, but just even a couple feet away, you don't even see this. It looks like maybe some tree sap or something got a little bit on there. Same stuff on this mirror. A little bit of, aging. So we'll go ahead and take you inside. But this thing is in beautiful condition. The tires are brand new. Wheels are brand new. Rides really nice and quiet and smooth. Super tight steering box. And we do another video of it driving at cold start, so hopefully you guys can stick around for that. But inside, it's, basically as nice as you can get. There's a little bit of darkening on the entryway, the carpets. It's a non-smoker, but the carpet's still got that nice, kind of tightly woven feel to it. The seats are in good condition. Armrests aren't broken. Rear seat, it fully folds up. It's got belts for 3 and it folds into a tray in the back. But you can see the carpet's in nice shape, but it is blue, so areas where you tend to get your feet, might have a little bit of fading. It's a little bit lighter right here. You can see from, even sitting here, you can see where the sun's hitting it. But the only wear on the interior is a little crack right here. A little wear in the silver trim, and this is easy to pop off, and you can find a nicer one on eBay or Amazon, or buy a reproduction piece. But to me, it looks phenomenal. It's all stock all the way down to the stereo. Center console, still got little black cup holder guys. So for the passenger side, that's pretty much it for the wear. You can see the seat doesn't have any marks on it or anything. It's nice and curved still. It's not flattened out. All the fly windows are really tight. The locks are tight. You don't need to shove any quarters in there to keep that lock going. On your driver's side, door panel doesn't have any wear. It's in excellent condition. You can see the paint on both of them. On the pictures I show the paint throughout the door jambs. No door hinge issues. It's got the C5 axle code, 410 limited slip. The driver's side's got a little bit more wear, but still in excellent condition. I mean, you have this material that's pulled out a little bit, and this is just kind of common. But a little bit of wear just on the stitching. But you can see it's still nice and curved. It's not flattened out. And it's just got some little creases from sitting. When you put down any weight on there, it does that. And a little more darkening on the carpets, but throw down some rubber mats and I mean, this thing looks phenomenal. You can see no big stains, no smoke smells, nice looking headliner. I'll go ahead and fire it up since it's nice and warm. We do a cold starting video. It's nice and tight, but again, I'll go through that stuff in the driving video. It's not a steam cleaned and armor-alled up motor like you often see with, tire dressing or motor dressing all over it. Just a clean, honest engine bay, full tune-up, oil change. But, it's used for the last, nearly 24 years, but not abused, just well capped, no exhaust leaks. You can just hear it's nice and quiet. And on the cold start, it's gonna be ice cold too, and you'll hear that's nice and quiet. So alright, this is gonna be going at no reserve, 94 extended cab, 4x4, long bed F250 with 160,000 original miles and all original paint.